Hey everybody, I'm back. I'm doing 2 tag videos back to back because this is going to be one of my last chances to have my boyfriend's place alone because he's not going to be working during the day next week that I know of. I never have any chances to record at my house anymore. It's ridiculous. My younger siblings are not in school right now, or my sister's not, and I share a room with her, which sucks, especially at my age, but what can you do? And my parents, depending on working schedules, it's like I'm hardly ever home, and the times that I am, everybody else seems to be around, so I can't record, and it's just really why I liked being able to use this place, but I'm not going to have that very shortly. Anyway, the tag that I'm doing is the Crazy Book Buying Obsessions tag by Reading with Jack. And I felt like this really applied to me because I am addicted to buying books. Let's just start with number 1 here. Do you have an obsession with buying books? Why, yes, of course, I do. I have several books in my Amazon.com shopping cart that I have just been dying to hit the, place order button and finalize it and buy it, and I have been stopping myself and forcing myself not to for the past couple weeks because there have been hints from family members when I graduate I may or may not be getting a gift card. So I'm trying to wait at least until that happens. Number 2, when, where, and how often do you buy your books? Do you go with anyone else or just by yourself? Usually by myself, but occasionally if I'm out with a friend or my boyfriend, we do like to look at Barnes & Noble. When Borders was still open, they were always my bookstore of choice. I don't like Barnes & Noble quite as much because of generally the salespeople that I deal with seem to not have as much knowledge. The selection and the prices are usually, I don't like them as much. So now I generally buy mostly on the internet, whether it be on Amazon or Book Depository, AbeBooks, one of those type of things, much more often than I buy in store. And I try to not buy books more than once a month. I'll get maybe 4 to 5 books in one sitting once a month, and try to leave it at that. Number 3, what kind of things attract you to books when browsing them? Is there a specific genre of books you automatically go and look at? Well, when I'm at the store, I generally browse the young adult section, or teen fiction, I think it's called, at Barnes & Noble. Not 100% sure. And I will usually look at the fantasy section before, especially, the teen fantasy over, contemporary, or they have a specific paranormal romance section at Barnes & Noble as well. I will look at those also, but they're kind of lower on my list. And I always check out the mystery and the adult fantasy and sci-fi section as well. And occasionally just the general fiction / literature. But my number 1 stop is always the young adult section. And the things that attract me to books is, number 1, the cover, but I will not judge a book by a cover, and I will always read what it's about. Yet they're the first things you see when you walk in the store. They're the first thing that catch your eye. What else is just the author. If there's an author I like who has a new book out, that will attract me. If it's a genre similar, if it sounds good to what I usually like to read, that. But number 1, I'd have to say the cover. Number 4, do you prefer to buy new, used, or a mixture of both? I prefer to buy new. In fact, unless I don't have a choice, maybe a book is out of print, I always prefer to buy new because I feel like if I'm going to be owning this forever, I want to have a new copy for myself. I do make exceptions, especially if there's a used copy that is in really good condition, or the price is just too good to pass up. I will do that, but new is definitely number 1 for me. Number 5. How much are you willing to spend on books each month? I try to keep it under $50 a month. Sometimes I go a little bit over, sometimes I go under, which I'm really proud of myself for doing, but generally that is my borderline of what I try not to go over, so I don't, go completely broke. Number 6, have you ever gone on any book buying bans? Not specifically, but there are times like when right now, when I know I'm going to be getting money or a gift card or something, I will try to hold off and wait until I get this, or until my next paycheck or something like that. But I've never been able to strictly put myself on a book buying ban per se. Number 7, how long does it take you to get around to reading recently bought books? Well, sometimes it can take several years because I have books on my shelf that, I haven't gotten around to reading for a long time. Other times I read it right away, especially if it's something I've been anticipating for forever. But generally, I try to make sure I mix, and as I read books each month, I will try to have a mixture of books that I've had for a while and a couple newer books, and just try to keep it all even that way. Number 8, do you prefer to buy a lot of shorter shorter, cheaper books, or just a few longer, more expensive ones? Generally a mix of both, because I like to have a large quantity of stuff, but I don't want to be buying all, necessarily cheap crap either. So I try to be even and just do a good mix of the two, so I can get a little bit more quantity as well as quality and get some nice, good, thick books as well. Number 9. Anything else to say about these awesome obsessions? Just that I wish I was rich, so I could have, my dream is to have like a whole library with, like in Beauty and the Beast, when he gives Belle the library. That, as I saw that as a kid, I knew from that point on that was what I wanted to have, like in the store or in the real libraries, how you have to have the ladder to go up and wall-to-wall shelves. It is my dream. Number 10, the last question, who are you tagging? I never like to tag specific people to do tags because I never know, someone may or may not have already done it, and I don't like to single people out. So I just tag anyone who watches this who wants to do it. I tag you, go ahead and do it. That's all for the crazy book buying obsessions tag. I'll see you guys in my next video.